Alrighty, here's part C of the test review. It says use substitution to solve the system of equations. And so since I have one variable that's isolated, that means I'm going to replace, anytime I see a y, I'm going to replace it with 6x plus 11. Well, guess what? I see a y right here. So I'm going to get rid of that y, and in its place, I'm going to put a 6x plus 11. So instead of y equals 2x plus 7, it's going to say 6 plus 11 equals 2x plus 7. So that's how you use substitution. You replace one of the variables with that expression. Okie dokie. So now that I've made the substitution, it's time to solve. I need all my x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 2x. 4x plus 11 equals 7. Need all my numbers on the other side, so I'm going to subtract 11. And now it says 4x equals 7 minus 11 is a negative 4. So lastly, divide by 4, and it's going to say x equals negative 1. So you can't stop there. You can't stop with x equals negative 1. You've got to take that and you've got to plug it back in. You can choose either equation. I'm going to choose the bottom one because it's a little bit smaller, a little bit less going on. So instead of y equals 2x plus 7, it's going to say y equals 2. And now I know that x is negative 1. So instead of 2 times x, it's going to say 2 times negative 1 plus 7. All right, this will help me figure out what y is equal to. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And when you add 7, it's going to say y equals positive, what is that, 5? So I've got my x, I've got my y. That means my solution is going to be negative 1 comma positive 5. And you can check that answer by plugging it in. So if I were to use the top equation, and I know I got my xy here, and I'm going to test it out. So replace the y with 5, replace the x with negative 1, and let's see if it works. 5 equals 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, and negative 6 plus 11 is 5. So we verified that our solution is correct. So we did the substitution, and then we also checked our work. We know we have the right answer. All right, number 12 says use elimination, my favorite method. Now to use elimination, you have to have opposites. So look at the top equation, look at the bottom equation. I have a negative 4x, and on the bottom equation, a positive 1x. Those are opposites. I have a positive 9y on top and a negative 9y on bottom. Those aren't opposites either. Now, there's multiple ways to make opposites, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by a positive 4. Because I know if I multiply the bottom equation by positive 4, that's going to give me 4 times 1x, which is a positive 4x, which would be the opposite to this negative 4x. So that's why I'm going to multiply by positive 4 on the bottom, making opposites. I'm going to rewrite the top equation because I need some room to work. All right. And now when I multiply the bottom equation, 4 times x makes positive 4x. 4 times negative 3 makes negative 12 with a y attached. And 4 times negative 6 makes negative 24. So now I have my opposites. When I combine these two things, my opposites cancel out. I have negative 3y equals negative 15. Solve it for y, and y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I've got y equals 5. Now we can take that and plug it back into either equation. I'm going to use the bottom one because it was a little bit smaller. So the bottom one said x minus 3y equals negative 6. Now I know that y is 5, so it's going to say, oops. It's going to say x minus 3 times 5 equals negative 6. All right, so add 15. And x is equal to Negative 6 plus 15. Ooh, I think it's 9. So my solution should be a 9 comma 5. All right, on this next one, got a question here about, about some Christmas money. All right. So they get money from the grandmother, and it goes to the Sarah and Lauren so they can give their family money. I don't know. So what is going on here? Sarah's check is for a total of $170. So a total, so it's not an inequality, it's going to actually equal $170. And that's for Sarah's check. So I'm going to put an S over here just so I know it's talking about Sarah's stuff. That's all about Sarah. You know what, I won't even put an S because that could be confusing. I'll just write Sarah. All right, so that equation is going to deal with Sarah. And then I'm going to have another equation that deals with Lauren. And Lauren's going to get a total of $210. Must be nice. It says that Sarah's check is for a total of, she has 2 adults in her family and 3 children. And Lauren has 2 adults and 4 children. All right, so I guess what the A and the C are going to represent, it's not going to represent the amount of adults because we know that there's 2 adults. So it's not going to represent the amount. It's going to represent the amount of money, the cash money that the adults are going to get, or the cash money that the children are going to get. So I guess my A represents the money for adults. And then my C would be the money for children. All right, it's kind of a weird question. I hope that made a little bit of sense. For me, it was easier to write the equations first and then think about what A and C were going to mean. Sometimes these equations kind of write themselves. All right, last 2 questions here. State the number of solutions. If you get this wrong, I will cry. Remember, a solution is found where the lines intersect. So this sucker has 1 solution. These are 2 lines that are parallel. I know that because they have the same slope. And these parallel lines will never intersect, so there is going to be no solution. And lastly, I see what looks like only 1 line, but what it really is it's 2 lines laying on top of each other. It's an overlapping pair of lines, which means it's the same line twice. Which means there's infinite solutions. All right. So the very last question, we made it. The last question said, which point is a solution to the system? We could find that out by testing them, plugging them in, seeing which one works. All right, I'm going to try A. So I have an X and a Y. So I'll replace the Y with 7. So it's going to say 7 equals. And then I'll replace the X with -4. Everything else stayed the same, okay? So instead of -4x plus 7, it became -4 times -4 plus 7. Substitution. All right, let's see if that works. Negative times negative is a positive 16, and that's not going to work out. 16 plus 7 is 23. Nay, that is not the right solution. So we would try the next one. Let's try B. There's an X, there's a Y. So replace the Y with -5, replace the X with 3, and let's see if this works. -4 times 3 is -12 plus 7. Hey, this looks a lot better. -12 plus 7 is -5. True statement. That's a solution. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. And there's only one answer to this question, so I'm not even going to continue checking the others. All right, guys, that's how this works. Please study for your test. Look over quizzes, look over notes. Good luck.